Hey, this is the Business Guy. I'm the CEO of the Lawyers Limited Law Firm. And most people who set up a Cook Islands trust for asset protection do it because they know it's the strongest asset protection tool on the planet. But what they don't often realize is why the Cook Islands remain so powerful. But what if I told you there's a hidden factor that determines whether your trust actually protects your wealth or falls apart when you need it most? Stick around, because this is something that most people don't talk about. Now, most people who set up such a trust think that just having the trust in the Cook Islands is enough. But let me ask you something. What happens when a jurisdiction changes the laws, or when economic stability leads to unexpected government intervention? We've seen it before from time to time with countries tightening regulations, say freezing assets or changing their financial policies overnight. Even safe jurisdictions like Switzerland have caved under international pressure when their banking secrecy laws were challenged, especially when it involved tax evasion or criminal issues. But what this did is this actually made the offshore services industry safer and more trustworthy. So many of us in the industry actually applaud the cleaning up of the offshore financial services industry, because we want to be in a reputable industry that people can trust and rely on and have faith in. So whereas we enjoy secrecy and privacy, we also want to be in an industry where we invite the good guys and keep out the bad guys. It keeps the international financial service industry more trustworthy. So why does the Cook Islands stand strong while other jurisdictions have weakened over time? Here's the key difference. And we should know because we've set up more Cook Islands trusts than any firm in the world. So here's the key difference: political and economic independence. The Cook Islands is not controlled by the US or the European Union, unlike other offshore jurisdictions. Whereas it is associated with New Zealand, it has a free association, which means that it can act independently. Unlike other offshore jurisdictions, it hasn't been pressured into changing its laws to cater to foreign governments. The trust laws were designed specifically to resist outside influence, even from the US court system. In other words, if somebody sues you, no matter how powerful they are, the Cook Islands government is not going to suddenly change the rules to help them, because their economy depends on the financial services industry. So that's the level of certainty that you need in asset protection. Now here's where it gets really powerful. The Cook Islands has an ironclad firewall law that stops foreign court judgments from being enforced. Let's say someone sues you in the US and wins a, say, $10 million judgment against you. They cannot just take that judgment to the Cook Islands and enforce it. Instead, they have to start over in a Cook Islands court under Cook Islands law. And here's the kicker: they have to prove their case not by a preponderance of the evidence like they do in the US, which is like 51% to 49%. They have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, which is a criminal level burden of proof. They have to do it within a strict 1 to 2 year statute of limitations. Otherwise, the case is dead, and contingency lawsuits are not allowed, meaning lawyers can't take cases free in hopes of a big payday. Now, here's another thing that's just coming to mind right now. Most of the law firms in the Cook Islands are already conflicted out. What that means is our trustee law firm has already worked with pretty much all the law firms in the Cook Islands, so they wouldn't be able to hire an attorney in the Cook Islands. It would be very difficult to find one to represent them that didn't already have a conflict of interest with our law firm trustee. So because the trustee is on your side and not your opponent's side, it's difficult for them to find a lawyer. And that's why most plaintiffs don't even try, and even if they do, they almost always lose. So if we make this like the pyramid, the Cook Islands is on top. Nevis is in the middle, domestic trusts at the bottom. Now, some people ask us, why not set up a trust in another offshore location, even in the US? And here's the problem. Domestic trusts, we've seen results-oriented judges simply override them. Just ask any attorney who thought their irrevocable trust would protect their client until a judge ruled against them. And it happens all the time. We see it in the case law history. Now, other offshore jurisdictions like Nevis or Belize, we set up a lot of trusts there too. They're also good choices, but we like the Cook Islands best for political stability, being associated with New Zealand, one of the most trusted countries in the world, and an impeccable reputation of integrity. Cook Islands, it's been tested in court time and time again, and it's still standing strong. And that's why the Cook Islands is the gold standard for asset protection. Now, the one biggest mistake we see people make is waiting too long to set up their trust. Now, let me be clear. Once a lawsuit is filed against you, it's often too late, especially in a divorce case, because of the financial restraining order prevents us and prevents you from setting up a trust to protect your assets. Whereas the Cook Islands Trust can often protect you after many lawsuits have already been filed, the Cook Islands Trust works best when you set it up before you need it, when the waters are calm. That way, when legal trouble comes your way, your assets are already protected and there's really little to nothing a court can do about it. So here's really the big takeaway. A Cook Islands Trust isn't just about the trust itself, it's about the entire jurisdiction backing it up, the political and economic stability. That's what really makes it truly unbreakable. So if you're serious about protecting your wealth and you need to set this up before a lawsuit ever happens and you want to get started, my team and I can help you put together the strongest asset protection plan in place. So that way you never have to worry about losing what you work so hard for. If you want more free information, visit assetprotectionplanners.com. and let's make sure that your assets are truly protected. So thanks for joining me. Subscribe for more insights. Hope to see you again. This is The Business Guy.